It's the end of 2024 and we're getting ready to go into 2025. So this is my 2025 creator economy bull market report. And we're going to talk about 6 trends that I think are going to explode in 2025 and one thing that I wish would just die. Stick around for that one. My name is Nick Friend. Welcome to the Creative Block, where we talk about what it's like and what it takes to work full-time in the creator economy. If that's something that interests you, check out the podcast. It's here on the same channel. All right, let's get into it. First thing that's going to blow up in 2025 is something called episodics. Now, what do we mean by episodics? It's the concept that we actually are pretty familiar with. Like, we all watch TV. We all love our series and things like that. Well, what I think is going to happen is that social platforms are going to start catering towards specific channels that have episodic content. And it's not going to be like part 1 of 3. It's going to be like part 1 of 30. And we've seen this happen a few times with a few viral hits where people go off the rails with part 75 and part 100 or part 500. That is going to be doubled down in 2025. Mark my words. Something else that's going to happen because of the episodic nature of a lot of content that's going to be coming out over the next year is you're going to see channels start to become their own little networks. And by that, I mean you are going to have channels that are not specifically devoted to the creator, but more about the content that the creator is making. This is going to open a lot of doors for those content creators to have more guests, have more variety, have more hosts, and actually distance themselves as people from the content that they're making these channels operate more like a business rather than just somebody online. The next thing that I think is going to absolutely explode is lo-fi tools. I think people are going to stop using cameras like this one and start using cameras from the 2010s that have a certain aesthetic to them. I also think that cameras like Fuji, the one that I use, and Canon Blackmagic are going to start making filters and internal options to make your content look older. Now, the vintage aesthetic has been around for a really long time, but I think that people are really pushing it more towards retro rather than just vintage. People want stuff to look like it's from the 90s and the early 2000s, not just from the 70s and 80s when everything just looked like it was on film. I think that's going to be a very, very popular one. Also, like dad cams and point and shoots, they're already making a comeback. I think 2025 is going to continue that trend as well. Definitely bet on that one. If you have an old point and shoot that your parents gave you like years and years ago, break it out, get it working again, find a battery, find a memory card, and start shooting with that. I guarantee you that's gonna pop off in 2025. All right, oh no. Number 3 is gonna be vibes over stories. Now this might be controversial, but I think people over like the whole buying into the story and buying into like the whole, I'm in this moment with these people and I connect to these people because of the content that I'm watching. No, what people want is to be attached to a feeling more than they want to be attached to the story. Now, the story gives you that feeling, but I think what consumers of content are looking for is an attachment to how the story makes them feel, not the story itself. And while that was kind of always the goal of good storytelling, I think it's going to be more overt that people are just attached to the vibe of the story rather than the story itself in 2025. So advertisers, creators, people working in the creator economy are gonna lean into that overt nature of just being attached to a vibe. The content is gonna be reflected as such. It's gonna be less subtextual and more contextual storytelling. Now I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite things that's been happening over 2024, which is chaos branding. And I have really enjoyed watching this grow up in 2023 and 2024, and 2025 is going to be the year that it graduates. It's been so cool. One of my favorite examples is like popcorn served in a paint tin. That was really interesting to me, but that's just like an example of chaos branding. And I think that chaos branding is also going to bring into the fold a lot of really strange collaborations. Not like, you know, Post Malone and Carhartt, but it's going to be like Post Malone and like Sherwin-Williams or something strange like that. It's going to be really, really strange. The chaos branding is going to evolve into chaos collaborations. All right, number 5, and I'm straight up not stoked about this one, is faceless channels. Like, there's absolutely no denying the fact that it's super easy to make content without having to be on camera like this. Being on camera takes a certain level of confidence. It also takes a certain level of don't give a shit. And a lot of people just frankly don't have that skill set. But that doesn't mean they can't make content because of the advent of AI. People that don't like to be on camera can still be amazing storytellers. They're using tools like generative images and generative video to tell those stories. And unfortunately, those channels do really well, and they probably make a lot of money. And while people like me that have been working in the film industry for like 15 years might hate this,
there's no denying that it works from a consumer standpoint. So yeah, number 5, faceless channels are gonna explode this year. If I was a betting person, I would absolutely bet on faceless generated content doing really well, especially on YouTube and Instagram. Oh, fuck. Now to the thing that I wish would just die, and that is app-controlled hardware. Like, listen, if you're a brand, stop making everything controlled by my iPhone, okay? I only have one phone. I've got one phone and I've got 15 devices. I've got lights, I've got cameras, I've got sliders, I've got monopods, I've got hazers, and I have coffee machines, and I have my entire lighting system in my home, and my Alexa, and don't do it, and my washer and dryer. It's all controlled by my phone. I don't need any more control with my phone. Please stop making apps. Just make better UIs on device so that I can use your product the way that you want me to, and just be intentional about how you design the product. Don't just make a kind of okay product with an app. Stop doing that. I don't even like my phone that much.
That is your 2025 creator economy bull market. Listen, this is what I think is going to work in 2025 based on 15 years of experience working in the industry. What do you think is going to work in 2025? And if you like this video, please prove it by liking it.